Spider-Man Brand New Day is coming in at 90% on the tomato meter, 98 by the audience. So everyone all around likes this film. And it's with just cause, because it's a good movie. It's one of those movies where I was a little bit worried that I didn't know what they were going to try to do after No Way Home, but they found something here that really works and made it my second favorite Tom Holland movie after Brand New Day. It tells the tale of a forgotten Peter Parker that lives alone as a full-time Spider-Man until mounting pressures trigger change and a powerful new enemy emerges. And that enemy, as we saw from the trailers, is going to be Sadie Sink's character, right? And who she is and what she does, because she can jump from body to body kind of thing, right? And along the way, he's going to be dealing with his mutation. Seems to be getting out of alignment. And maybe those two things of Sadie Sink's character and his mutation are in alignment with each other. And I'll tell you this, we saw from the trailer the Hulk's in it. They did a great job of giving that scene with the Hulk. It's just deuce, because he is menacing. And once you sit down and settle into this movie, you realize that the director is handling this movie very well. Destin Daniel Cretton, or I'm sorry if I butchered it, but he seems to understand the character. He understands the visuals. He understands what he was handed to him from the previous installments in this franchise, and he's built on it. He's also paying us off from what they have established in this timeline, and it's done brilliantly by Zendaya and Tom Holland, because for me, this movie has one of my favorite scenes of the year in it, and that is one of the payoffs of what the other movies were setting up. And it's brilliantly executed by Zendaya and Tom Holland. The cast overall in this movie is very good. Tom Holland and Zendaya, but John Bernthal as Frank Castle, Punisher, phenomenal. Sadie Sink we know from Stranger Things, The Whale. She was great addition to this cast. I found that her reveal, the character name, I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they were trying to hide this. We all knew it. And as we see here from IMDb, and they tell you right now, it's not that big of a reveal. It was kind of like, well, we all know that. So when they try to do that in the film, it just doesn't have any muster. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, well, we knew that. But my nitpicks about this film are only nitpicks, and they don't detract from my enjoyment of what this movie was and is, because there's that feeling inside of me that makes me want to go, I want to watch this again. And while the action scenes in this movie are cool, like it is visually cool to look at, and there's a lot of really great action set pieces. The payoffs in this are the emotional scenes. There's two in this that are in contention for my favorite scenes of 2026. And actually, Zendaya's in 3 of my favorite scenes of the movies so far this year. She is a phenomenal talent. She was good in The Odyssey. She's good in this. She's good in the drama, which is the other movie that has one of my favorite scenes. The camera likes her, and this movie allows her to have a few scenes in it where she shows you she's got some acting chops, and so does Tom Holland. I like how the secret of his identity slowly gets addressed in this film, because they have to address it, right? Obviously, we see that they're together, talking to each other. So are they going to mention it? They dance around it, and it's handled so well that those scenes are built up so well that it's just like, holy my God, I can't believe that I'm feeling sadness and sorrow for them. And just makes me just feel it, even just talking about it. That's how good it is, and that's compliments to Zendaya and Tom Holland. I can't give them enough praise. Now, the things that I nitpick here are a little bit of the story elements towards the end. It feels a little Deus ex machina kind of thing, where okay, did you have to did you have to end it that way? Is there not a better way that it could have been handled a little bit more quicker? There was a story thread in here that I felt was a little bit dropped, and we didn't get that fully addressed at the end, about Spider-Man and his powers. But again, they're only minor things where it's kind of like doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the film at all. But I admit that it was a dropped storyline that just kind of like, well, okay, that happened. It didn't really affect the plot of the movie though. At the end, it didn't affect the resolve of the movie at the end, other than we know Spider-Man's strong. So it's kind of like, what was the point of showing us that stuff? There's just so many minor things like that. That's just kind of like, what happened to Banner? But it's like, this is so minor. It doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the film. I think everybody, like me, will be coming out of it going, wow, I want to watch it again. That was fun. And it's a long movie. It comes in at just 2 hours and 25 minutes. So it's under 2.5 hours. And it felt like maybe you could have cut some stuff out, but I don't know if I wanted to have stuff cut out, right? So let's go see what people are saying here. And I'll give you my score sheet. Movie Freaks, the street level adventure of our friendly neighborhood MCU Spider-Man is a breath of fresh air. And I know that people were clamoring for this, the street level adventure stuff. You get that in the first act. But eventually you've got to address the stuff that was happening in the bigger picture of things, right? Because we are in that universe. You can't ignore it. Um, New York Magazine didn't like it. What? Watching Brand New Day feels like watching the work of a group of people who've forgotten what made these films. What? No, no, I don't think you were paying attention, were you, Allison? You were probably sitting on your phone for the movie, and I don't know how anybody could be just sitting at their phone, looking at it, going, through this movie. This movie is Spider-Man: Brand New Day is one of those movies where it's like you don't want to go to the bathroom even though that you have to, because you just want to be able to watch what's happening, because it's giving me so much emotion and payoff, and it's just like spectacle is like, wow. So I don't know what you're smoking there, Allison. Lawrence H. Overall, a great movie. Disappointed on the way it ended with. Okay, that's a little bit. Again, that goes to a little bit of some of those storyline threads that I was talking about. And I could see how some people were disappointed, but I don't think you read the ending properly, because if you saw the way that last scene ended with some handshakes, I'll say that pointed towards what's happening with this particular character. Um, Victor, great movie, the epitome of Spider-Man. Yeah. And it's just one of those where it's like, I want to see more. And you can totally do more. Like there's so much on the cusp outside here that's going on. Yeah, we're probably going to get Spider-Man in Doomsday or Secret Wars, but he'll just be a background character. I want to see Spider-Man in the forefront again. And what I mean by stuff just on the outside here, um, if you have Frank Castle in there, Punisher, that means that you do have Kingpin somewhere. And that's what I'm waiting for. I know that there's people that want Venom, some iteration of Venom in here. And I'll be wanting that too. But I want Kingpin, I want Sinister Six, uh, and then have this whole series kind of end with an MJ Peter Parker wedding, and then they can go like this with this iteration of Spider-Man. I think that would be the perfect way to end it, because you don't need to have a Gwen Stacy in this version. But and then with the mutant angle, Wow. That's another whole ball of wax that this movie does address, because it's like, as I said, yeah, you can have that street level stuff, but the other stuff is happening in this universe, right? So, uh, kudos, well done by the director and the cast. Spider-Man: Brand New Day is a fun movie to watch. Let's go see what I ranked it on my score sheet here. Acting, directing, and story are of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score 1, and watchability factors out of 2. As I said, I want to go back and watch this one right away again. It's my second favorite after No Way Home, because we see the other Spider-Man and villains in that. It's just so cool. But this one it's got those payoffs. This one has the payoffs, right? Homecoming and the second movie set stuff up to get paid off in these movies, right? So 9 out of 10 for Spider-Man: Brand New Day feels great. Feels great. And I could probably even maybe knock up the directing to 2 points, but 9 out of 10 feels right. Feels just. I just want to say, wow, I want to watch it again. All right. So that's what I feel. 9 out of 10 for Spider-Man. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, come join us here on the channel, because we just reviewed The Invite, Evil Dead Burn, and The Odyssey right here on Mirror Domains. Okay. If we are going to do spoilers, I might just keep spoilers to this channel and this video. Payoffs. There's 2 scenes here that are my favorites, and it's a real toss-up as to which one I like better. Because we got to address the secret identity issue, right? And how you're going to react to "You do remember me." We do have a past together, and the first one is with Tom Holland, and the second one is with Zendaya, um, because Jean Grey is manipulating her the first time, um, and Tom Holland's character kind of like thinks that he's talking to MJ, but he's really talking to Jean Grey through MJ. But then Tom Holland delivers this performance of like, "Oh, you do remember me? Oh, like he just lets it all out and is like, I can't believe you're back. It's just done so well on the rooftop that I I want to say is it is one of my favorite scenes of the year. But I don't know if it's one of my favorite, like the favorite of this movie, because that second reveal with Zendaya, when it is truly her. Remember that note that he wrote that he was going to tell her? He goes off and fights with Frank Castle and Hulk, and she's at Frank Castle's place here, being kept safe, and she finds the note and reads it, and then they have the talk where they both kind of uh, have their own control, and it's heartbreaking because he's like, yes, we know each other and we loved each other, but then you realize that she doesn't remember anything, and it's so well crafted, so well acted, on top of how well that whole story arc was handled. It is my favorite parts of the movie, and Zendaya is just awesome. uh what a talent. I can't praise her enough. um she's going to be remembered as one of the best actresses ever, I think. um okay, so there was some hokiness here, uh some levity. I think maybe that's where some of the story could have been trimmed down a little bit. I was worried at first that I wasn't going to like the new costume, but it worked. And they explained his new version of the tech stuff very well. The drop storyline that I was talking about in my review, was the mutation stuff. We seen that in the trailers that he has problems with his webs, that he gets his webs just like Tobey Maguire, right? And they kind of just drop that at the end, where it's he gets a certain level of control over it, and he uses his strength to bust through the door. But we know that he was strong before. It just doesn't align with anything other than setting up that he has an ability to marshal in some and limit some mutant powers. And I think that's what that was all trying to do, was just set up for something that's going to get paid off in the X-Men movies for sure, if not Doomsday. And then there was stuff with Banner that kind of gets dropped. It's just like, okay, he has this fight with the Hulk, and then the Hulk never really comes back in it. It's like, well, what happened to his character? But it was a good establishing scene to establish the villain, which was Jean Grey. Um, it was a cool nod to some of the other characters as well that he fought. Oh, this is the rooftop scene here. Yeah, yeah, because Jean Grey is um, in you taking over her consciousness, right? Wow. So they actually showed that in the trailer. And I've seen breakdowns where there's shots in this film that are straight out of the comics. And that's why I said the director really seems to understand Spider-Man. And I don't know why some people are complaining about some of that stuff. I felt like it served its purpose, and it just looks cool. It just looks cool. And I like the nod to Spider-Man 2. Uh, Not Spider-Man 2 the movie, but Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 2. He called him Spider-Man 2 about having the webs come out of him instead of his pack, which means that you would think that Spider-Man 3, um, Andrew Garfield would eventually get that as 2, right? With the mutation, I thought that eventually they were leading to Doppelganger. That's what I thought, but I guess maybe they weren't. Oh well. Oh well. But you know, it's open for a whole bunch of stuff now. Uh, there's that they never really wrapped up what happened to MJ after, but the scene with Ned at the end. Remember, she says, "Tell him" at the end. So you know that you know that MJ and Ned are friends and roommates. So if he reestablishes a connection with Ned, it's just going to lead back to MJ. You know that's coming. So I didn't feel like, while we didn't get a closure scene with them, that gave me enough to realize that eventually it's going to get back to them again, right? So I didn't feel too let down by that. The post-credit scene is ambiguous. You don't really need to wait to the end of the movie to see it. Yeah. All right. That's all I got to say about Spider-Man Brand New Day. My only other thing is that short that I published, my quick review, I can't believe that some people think that I said Spider-Man Brand New G-A-Y, not day. It could be the music cue that I was using. I said day, but day in G-A-Y sounds from similar. Maybe the soundtrack was mixing it, but I said Brand New Day. Day. And that's why I was really trying to enunciate the D this time around. But whatever. All right, guys, let me know what you thought about these movies, and we'll talk about it. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next time right here on Mirror Domains.